Hi ladies, Ashley Centroni here. I just wanted to hop on and I'm gonna actually do kind of the whole shebang today. So start to finish, what a typical day would look like. It's gonna take me a little longer than usual as I walk my way through it for you guys, sort of showing you step by step, but it's gonna give you kind of an idea, yeah, sort of start to finish. So if you wanna play this and work along with me, that would be fantastic. And we can go through this together. So, all right. If you ever have any questions, of course, reach out to me or comment. I'm happy to help. And we'll get you going with your Seint and maybe playing with some eyeshadows too. Okay, so here's what I've got here. In my palette, I actually mixed two colors for my perfect main highlight. Typically, you can get away with just the one main and a brightener, but I'm fancy like that, I guess. And I typically mix two as my main, and then I've got my brightener. And then I also have a brighter brightener in here. I've been starting to use a little bit in the corners as well. My contour, some bronzer, and then over here I just have some nice fall colors to complete my look today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start here with my detail brush and I am gonna go in with some contour. So just so you do know, I've already gone through and I've applied my sunscreen as well as I use the Seint Cream Moisturizer. It is so glorious. I've been using that and it's really helped get rid of any issues that I've had in the past with random dry spots and whatnot. So just like to get started, kind of prep my skin with that. If you have oily skin, you could also go ahead and apply some setting spray at the beginning as a bit of a primer. If you're using a different brand of primer, please make sure that it doesn't have any sort of silicone in the ingredients, because that can cause the creams to just sort of slip around and they won't melt into the skin as they should. So for contour, I've hugged up on my cheekbones here, and then I've gone down along the jawline, forehead, finding the shadow here under the chin and pulling that back a little bit. Just kind of helps smooth things out. Yeah, get rid of the puff. So that, yes, so that's sort of the way I do my contour. Of course, depending on your face shape, if you have a very different face shape to me, just let me know. And if you're unsure of where to contour, let me know and I am always happy to help. So you can also, sometimes I like to go in and do some nose contour as well. Just bringing down these edges just a little bit of a hump in the center here. And I find this just helps sort of narrow things down a bit. But again, not necessary for everybody, although it can work wonders if you do have a little bit of a crooked nose or anything like that from a previous incident. You can use contour to really help kind of even things out, and it can really help if that, causes any sort of insecurity, or, sometimes we get a little self-conscious if we're a little asymmetrical in areas. Just totally fine. We can easily fix that up with some contour or not, and just embrace the beauty that you have. So one way or the other, there is a solution for everybody. So I've put on my contour here. Now I'm just going to go through with my buff brush, the larger end, and I'm going to apply this kind of all over the place, like so, kind of in like a dabbing motion, pressing the product into the skin, like so. Cream makeup is so amazing for all skin types, but it works especially well for mature skin. We get some kind of creasing and wrinkling and whatnot with mature skin, and with this product, because it's a cream, it really moves with your skin rather than settling in those fine lines and pores like traditional foundation and powders can kind of leave that kind of, sorry, Mackie, mommy's just on a live, honey. Can you go, please? or be really quiet if you're in here, okay? Sorry, I've got a preschooler and he's home right now. What's that? They're not home right now, honey. They're at school. Okay, after school you can play with them. All right, so yeah, sorry, I've got a preschooler here, and his brother is homeschooled last year, so he's not used to this being home without brothers to play with all day gig. Not so much fun. So, all right, so I've got my main color going on here. I've taken it across the forehead. You can kind of take it through here, the beard area. You can even take this up under the eyes a bit if you like, or you can do the more traditional way of applying your brightening highlight all throughout under the eyes. Either way works, and both have their benefits. So if you do tend to have some darker dark circles under your eyes, it's kind of nice to go through with your mane like this, or even some mango works really nicely for color correcting under the eyes as well. You can go through and apply that just to try and help cancel out some of that, those dark circles. All right, and you'll notice I'm not using a ton of product. If you were to see this in person and up close, you would really see that I'm not using a ton of product. I'm just picking up a bit on my brush and really working it into the skin. And you can go heavier if you like a more full coverage look. You absolutely can. I don't mind a little bit of my freckles, my freckles and whatnot showing through personally. I don't want to look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup, but I do want to look like I've put in a little effort and I've pulled myself together a little bit. So that's my personal preference. But if you like a more natural approach or a more full coverage approach, just let me know, and I can certainly help with that. So now I've just gone through with some of my lighter brightening color down the center of the nose. You can put a little bit between the eyes if you like. And then with the smaller end here of my buff brush, I'm gonna go through with my really light linen color. And I'm just gonna apply a little bit to the center and then out this outside edge, kind of pulling that eye upwards a little bit. I'm gonna take what's left on my brush and apply that onto my eyelids. You can see how veiny and discolored my eyelids are, so it's nice for me to be able to go through and cancel that out with a little bit of my brightening highlight. Really kind of brighten things up and cancel that out. Now, if you are not planning on doing an eyeshadow look, either skip canceling your eyelids or after applying this, you'll want to go through and apply some setting powder or, like I say, some powdered eyeshadow. If not, you'll end up getting some creasing issues just because with your eyes open so much during the day, it's inevitable that you are going to get a little bit in that line there. Sorry, I've got a tickle here. My hair's tickling me. All right. Okay, and then this outside edge as well. Okay. And then we're just gonna, like I say, you don't have to pick up more product for your lids. You're just gonna use what's left here on your brush. We certainly don't want to go heavy on the eyelids with product. Okay, so for the most part here, everything is in place. And now, while we give that a minute to sort of melt its way into the skin a bit, I'm going to move on and work on my eyes. So I like to start with my brows. I find it just gives me a nice kind of picture frame to work within. So I like to start with the brow wax. You can spray a little bit of setting spray on it, or you can even just go in with water, a little touch of water in there, and that's going to kind of activate your wax. Picking it up here on the end of my line brush. I have bent the end of my line brush. I personally find I get a better angle at it this way. You can do the wax first if you like, and then apply your color, which is what I'm doing right now. But if you find that you have a tendency to have a bit of a tricky time with your brows, you can always do the product first, the color first, and then sort of set things in with your wax. It's a bit more forgiving that way. All right. So I'm going to go in with the other end here, nice angled end on it. I'm going into Trust, which happens to work for me. If your coloring is different than mine, let me know and I can help recommend a brow color for you. So I'm just sort of making little brush-like motions in the same direction as the hair grows. Hopefully these brows go okay. It's hard on camera doing it into a little cell phone screen. So I may go back in afterwards and just touch things up as needed. But basically what you're going for here is you're going to want to line things up. They should come into the corner of your eye. I overplucked as a teenager. Mine naturally start way too far out now that they've been overplucked. But you're going to want it to start there, then just under your pupil to the highest point, and then the corner of your nose, corner of your eye, edge of your tail here. Alrighty. I do like a little bit darker, bolder brow. Personally, I find that it really helps shape my face quite a bit more that way, but it's personal preference. Just because mine are so deep and dark doesn't necessarily mean that's for everybody. So the one nice thing is if you do have really nice full brows already and you didn't overpluck as a teenager, then the brow wax alone can really do wonders. Just going through, it helps kind of tame everything, keeps everything in the right place where you want them to be. And that's a lot of times enough without even adding any sort of color. You can use contour or eyeshadow like I've done. But if you don't need to add that, you can just use a little bit of brow wax and really just kind of keeps things all in place. All right. I also have asymmetrical brows. One eye kind of falls a little lower than the other one. So, like I say, I might have to pop back on here and give them a little bit more TLC here at the end, but you'll get the idea here. All right, I just have to lift this one up a little higher than the other one to try and even them out a little bit. All right. And like I say, just little fleck motions, just like your hair would naturally grow. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to those later, but for now I am gonna hop over to some eyeshadow. So I have placed some colors in here that look pretty for fall. So this one is not released yet. This one's gonna be coming out, I'm hoping soon, but by the end of the year. It's called Eggnog. It will have a new name. But similar to this would be Sabrina, or Rome. You could go that route, or even Unicorn. It's more of a white versus this sort of tone, but would also work nicely. I've got some Philly in here, some Sedona, Zion. This was my Trust brow color. And then I have, so I'm not gonna use this one on my eyes. And then I've got some Bright Eyes in here, some Georgia Illuminator, some Sandstone, and Royal. So this is a matte finish for my cheeks, and then I love a little bit of gloss on my lips, so I'm actually going to mix the two on my lips. And I might even add a little bit of shimmer in there. So, all right, where to start? Well, if I could find my brush, that would be a good place to start. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the eyeshadow brush. It's my favorite eyeshadow brush I've ever come across. We have another option as well, the smudge brush, which is really nice too. But if you're starting with just one, this is the guy. You can do the majority of your looks with this brush right here. I always recommend also having the brush cleaning tile. It works really well. I have it popped out right now, but it goes right in your compact as well. And it works really well for transitioning between your colors. So you can, you basically, as you transition between, you're just gonna give your brush a little wipe off. It's getting any excess product off so you're not muddling your colors together. So I like to start with a nice warm color for my transition kind of through. It's kind of my color that's gonna pull everything together. And I like to start with that as a base. So I like to press down on the outside edge first. Wherever you tap down with your brush first is where you're gonna end up with the most pigment. So you're not gonna wanna press down here. You're always gonna wanna keep it to the outside or center when you're first putting your brush down. All right, so just using these little swirling motions to apply. I like holding kind of halfway down the brush, gives me a little bit more room to work. If you're holding it too tight, you don't get the same ability to fluff things around and really blend things out nicely. So I always recommend holding the brush a little further down. So this here is Sedona. Another one of my favorite options is Bubba. It's an amazing color for this same purpose. I'm just gonna dust it out just a little bit underneath. So that's a nice option. And then if you like a little bit cooler, Basic's a nice one as well. Lullaby. Those are some really nice options for this initial color that you're going to put down here. This is a really nice starting point, and it's going to be what kind of brings everything together. It's also nice to be able to do your eyeshadow right now while your makeup gets an opportunity to melt into your skin. And then when you go back in, it's already kind of warmed into your skin, and it's so much easier. Not that it's overly hard to begin with, but it is nice and easy this way to get a really good blend of your creams because they've had time to really warm into the skin. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit underneath as well. All right, I'm gonna use a little Zion too. That's this really warm color here. It's got a bit of a red undertone to it. I'm just gonna take a little bit and just add a little bit more depth over here. All right. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna take some, you can go through if you like, and you can add a little bit of, ooh, I've got a dirty brush here. I was hoping to use. Just give me 1 second. Just gonna give it a quick wipe here. And then I dropped it. We're not gonna use that brush. We're skipping that brush. It's not meant to be. All right. Okay, you can use your finger if you like. And you can take that brighter highlight color and you can just sort of add a little bit to your lid. This just helps. I mean, you don't have to do this step, but I find that it really helps make those shimmers pop. So I'm going in with some bright eyes here, and I'm actually just going to use my finger and press that over top of that brightening highlight. I use the linen, which is the color that I used in the corners. And then I'm just going through and putting a little bit of that Bright Eyes over top. You really don't want to pick up much product though when you're placing that highlight on your eyes. Otherwise, you're just going to make a mess. So you want a really nice light application of that. And then you can go in and like I say, I'm using a bit of Bright Eyes just to give that bit of a pop here on my lid. All right. Perfect. So I'm also going to add in a little bit of this lighter color. So like I say, you could use Rome or Sabrina. I'm using this new color coming out called, currently called Eggnog. We shall see what it ends up being. And I like to just put a little bit of this light color here in this inside corner. And we're gonna really wake things up over here and really give a nice bright look here. All right. I also could add in a little bit of my illuminator if I wanted. These powder illuminators are gorgeous and they double as really pretty eyeshadows. So this one here is Georgia. And I'm just sort of bringing that one into the Bright Eyes that I have in the center. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of this lighter color here under my brow bone as well. All right. Okay, now if I wanted to, I could go, if I wanted to add a little bit more of a dark color, especially if it's evening or anything like that, I like to take a little bit of Philly. You can just press that into the outside corner of the lid, and you can bring that down onto your lower lash line as well. And I'm just packing it. I'm using the smaller end of the same brush, kind of the pencil end, I guess you could say. And I'm just packing that, pressing that in. Not doing a ton of swooshing with this end. I'm more pressing this deep color. I want to keep it in that area. And then just give everything a final blend here. Now the worst, the worst is putting on mascara on camera. So I'm contemplating in my mind right now, should I do it or should I wait? All right, I make the worst faces when I do my mascara. So we're gonna give it a go. No judgment, judgment-free zone, okay? Judgment-free zone. All right, not to mention doing this into my cell phone screen here. I might have to grab my compact for the assist, okay? I'm gonna grab the compact for the assist. All right. Also, have yet to find a mascara that I truly love. But this one is not so bad. I've been liking it, but I just have, no matter what makeup I use, no matter, yeah, it just doesn't matter. I don't know what it is about my eyelashes, but no matter what, I always end up getting smudge. So even like the only thing that works for avoiding that for me is waterproof mascara, and that's such a pain to take off. So anyways, if you have any recommendations for mascara that you love, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep setting my under eyes with some powder and hoping for the best. Uh-oh. Okay. All right, but I am loving these colors. I'm such a warm, I just love the warm colors. They just scream fall to me. So love them. All right. And then we'll get in and we will do some blending, some illuminator. I'll be honest, probably some bronzer because I'm obsessed with bronzer. This Seint bronzer is like my favorite thing ever. I could bathe my whole body in it if I could. It gives the nicest look. Okay, so, sorry guys, I know mascara is the worst. And it's like the least fun thing to watch someone apply. So, I'm almost done. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and I'm going to get to blending. So I love my blush and bronzer brush, which works, it comes as a bundle with our bronzer that I was just talking about. The smaller end here, which is the blush end, works really well for blending. So I love just going through in kind of a dabbing motion and pressing the product into the skin. I'll come back. I don't want to muck up my mascara under my eyes I just put on. So basically, you're just going to go through and press the product into the skin. You can give it a little blend like so. When you're doing your contour, you want to make sure you're working upwards on your face so you're not dragging any shadows down. All right. And of course, we want to make sure we blend in this lighter highlight line we've done here. But we still want to keep a bit of that. Make sure we don't fully blend it out because it's really helping lift up our eyes there. If you get any sort of mess from doing your eyeshadow, it's also a really great idea to go back in with the same brush. You don't even have to pick up new product. Just use what's left on the brush. Clean that up and just really finish off that eye look nicely. All right, and don't forget to blend down your neck, especially if you've done any sort of contouring down here. We want to make sure we're really blending that and bringing it all together. I'm going to do something about this nose, that's for sure. Alrighty. Okay, so I want to add a little bit of lip contour and some bronzer, some blush. So I'm going to go through actually and do some bronzer first. I like to keep it on the corner of my palette here so I can pick it up and swirl it right off the edge just to get a really nice even pickup on my brush. If you do get a gob of it, not to worry. It's the beauty of creams. Just blend it out. I do love the bronzer. I find that it works really well for kind of bringing everything together. If you've got any sort of color variation between your face and your neck and your chest. So I like to really just use it to bring things together. It also really helps prolong your shades between seasons as your tan changes a little bit. I'm making a mess here, my hair. Okay, so I've put that on. Now I'm just gonna go through and do some lip and cheeks and a little bit of illuminator. And of course, the brush that I dropped earlier is, I'm gonna use my feet here. Bring it fancy. Who needs 4 hands when you got a couple feet? Okay, so I'm gonna use the small end. I'm such a dork. Anyways, I'm gonna use the small end of this multitasker brush, and I'm just gonna go through and overline my lips a little bit, just with my contour color. The Bella, oh, as I speak and make a mess. The Bella bronzer also works nicely for this if you like a really kind of warm tone around the lips. which is also really nice for fall. The bronzer is actually a really pretty lip color. It works really well for that as well. I'm a mixer. I absolutely love mixing, and the Bella bronzer works so nicely. You can mix it with other colors, like some Royal is really nice with it. Sorry, I've got some random colors thrown in here. Desert Sunset. We've got some really nice options. Frenchie goes really nicely with the Bella bronzer. So definitely play with it. There's so many uses for our products that you can use them in different ways. So play around with it and see what you think. So same brush as I did my blending with. I am going to go in with some sandstone and give a little color on my cheeks. All right, and I'm gonna mix that with some Royal. I like to just mix them together right in the compact. I'm gonna put that on my lips here. All right. Okay, sometimes I like to put a little bit of illuminator even. Just in the center, like so. And I'm actually gonna take a little bit of this illuminator and place it around here as well. The powders definitely pack more punch. This is a powder. If you want something a bit more subtle, go with the cream. But the powders are really nice, and they do double as a eyeshadow. I did use them on my eyes as well. Okay, so everything is basically in place. So it's just a matter of going through with your sponge. I got this wet, I wrung it out, rolled it out in a towel to get any excess out of it. And then it's just a matter of going through and picking up any excess product and giving everything a nice final blend. If you do find that you get a bit oily or your makeup isn't staying as well as you'd like it to, go ahead, use this sponge, spray some setting spray on it, or spray the spray directly on your face. But I personally like applying it with this sponge, and then just go through, press that in, give everything a final go. Alrighty. Okay, so I hope you, geez, I'm a hot mess right now. I hope you ladies enjoyed that. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. I would absolutely love the opportunity to color match you. If you're already a Seint user and you want to share this with your friends, we have an amazing perks program. I come in, I do most of the work for you. You just entertain your friends, engage, whether it's online or in person in the Calgary, Cochrane, Airdrie area. You basically, you do the entertaining with your, not the entertain, well, I guess, yeah. You engage with your friends, have some fun, comment away, or if it's in person, you know, we do it that way. You just have fun with your friends, and I come in, I do either a demo this way through, if we're doing a virtual class, or in person, I either can do your makeup, some of your guests, do a demo myself, whatever you're comfortable with. I will make a plan with you. They're so much fun. And like I say, the perks are awesome. So I would love to get some parties on the books, some contour classes, demos. So reach out to me. And if you're brand new to Seint, let me know. And we can get you some personalized color match recommendations, get you all ready for fall. Anyhow, thank you so much, ladies. I will chat with you all soon.